now that's real work right there. Now, see what these guys are doing, man? These guys busting his ass, right? That's real men working in the field, busting up concrete. Fuck yeah, bro, get up concrete. Right? Is he crying? Oh, it's too hard. There's too much street to break up. I take a little stab at some of the healthcare workers, big babies, right? Big babies, man, right? So watch this guy work for a while, man. I don't know, man. It's 4 hours of jackhammer. It's some heavy metal, man. These guys rock. Been playing them every day for a while. So healthcare workers, pay attention. This is what real work looks like. Stop crying. You're making six figures a year. You're making fucking $60 an hour. Doctors making crazy money. Stop complaining is what I'm trying to say. Because this is like you know, there's people out there working a lot harder than you for pennies. So that's what I wanted to talk about today. Mark's Conte reporting. Sometimes you do a lot of reporting, you do a lot of investigation, and you come to a couple of conclusions. There are a few that we're coming to in this COVID-19 all the time, every time, because that's all we really have to talk about. But in the COVID-19 exploration, we're seeing that hospitals, quite frankly, in this reporter's opinion, are a little soft. The people inside are a little bit whiny, a little bit crybaby. All right, listen, you become a doctor, you become a nurse to help people, and then suddenly the going gets tough, and you either get going or you get going, right? You go out the door and leave. That's what it seems a lot of nursing home and hospital employees, doctors, nurses, staff are doing, right? Now, am I being harsh? Shouldn't we be sympathetic? Shouldn't we play the violin and clap every time we see a healthcare worker in scrubs walking into the hospital to do his job? Oh, they're so wonderful. They're so helpful. And meanwhile, they're fucking bunch of crybabies, right? Well, not all of them, but a lot of them are, right? So, good morning, everybody. Good morning, Gina. Always VP. Chris Mike. Devotee. Vinny D. Martini in the house. Pat Acker. What's up, Pat Hacker? Gina always a VP. Gina always. Kingfish, Devotee. Jason Walsh, good morning. Good morning, everybody. Jim Gerard is here. Joe Dokes, Joel Whitworth. So, everybody, man. So I don't want to be harsh. I just want to I want to speed read some of the news that's going on here about the coronavirus and such. And is there any hope in sight to... Let's listen to some Jackhammer for a while, man. This is inspiring. In time. Yeah, real men fucking hanging out, drinking beer, fucking working the Jackhammer. Hey, Joey, take over, Joey. You want to bang the fucking hammer for a while? You tired? I ain't tired. You ain't tired. I ain't fucking tired. Who's tired? Call me tired? Call me a pussy? Fuck you. Damn, right? So I knew a guy once that did this kind of work, man. He is a guy, works a jackhammer in the street, right? Breaks up the streets of New York City. Nice guy. Nicest guy in the world, right? Breaks up, but man, fucking work. You do 2 hours of that, or the sanitation department. I mean, I sued and bashed the Department of Sanitation, but never the sanitation workers, man. You lift garbage all day, 3 hours, 4 hours in a row of following a truck around the streets of Brooklyn, lugging garbage. It's hard work. Now, it's not to say that being a doctor isn't hard work, but there is. Let's talk about that. Just hold that thought. Hold that thought for 1 second. So. Well, before we go into that, I want to talk about this disgusting breaking news. Look at this. Millions of Americans could lose stimulus payments to debt collectors. You motherfucker. Oh, that makes your blood fucking boil. People sitting around now some people are waiting for their stimulus as if as if to add insult to injury. Right, they're on the end of their game. Right, they're fucking sitting on the balls of their ass, and now the debt collectors come along and take their money, take their stimulus. Listen to this. Millions of people received their stimulus package from the federal government this week, but some are at risk of immediately losing the money if they owe credit card, medical, or private student loan debt. You motherfucker, fucker. That sucks. So credit cards, who gives credit? Banks. Medical expense. Oh man, right in the height of an epidemic, in the height of a healthcare epidemic, the medical profession. If you have outstanding medical bills, they want to come and take your stimuli. They want to take you $1,200. They want to take you $1,200 and make you starve. Student loans, how dare you? How fucking dare you? So let's see. A loophole in the law could mean some of those who are most in need of the emergency aid didn't get the money. About a third of Americans. Some 71 million adults have debt in collections and could be impacted, according to the National Consumer Law Center. What a disgrace. What a goddamn disgrace. $2 trillion congressional coronavirus relief plan passed in March did not shield the stimulus payments from certain private debt collectors, though it specifically protected the money from being taken to cover unpaid taxes or federal student loans. All fucking loans. Everything. Forgiveness. Don't touch my money. It's my money. I need my money because if I don't have my money, I'm going to pick up me something and go and get some food, right? That's what it leads to. It leads to you create a savage environment when people don't have money to eat. That's what I'm saying, right? So it's just disgraceful, right? The law does allow the money to be garnished for child support payments. Well, men don't have any rights left in this country anyway. Right? Fucking everything goes to the women. And I worked in the welfare department, and I got to tell you, man, adult men are the lowest human beings on the totem pole, especially white men. Right? Black men, they got it pretty bad too, but white men are even worse, right? If you're a white man and you can't pay your bills, you're like the lowest scum. The newborn baby is the most pure and innocent, and all the benefits go to them. And then the pregnant mom. Oh, pregnant mom, they roll the red carpet out. Oh, look, pregnant mom, come on in. What do you need? Everything? Okay, we got it. Boom, rubber stamp. But anyway, I digress. 25 state attorney generals and Hawaii Office of Consumer Protection warned about the problem in a letter sent to this week to Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin, asking him to issue guidance protecting the payments from private debtors. This should be a no goddamn brainer, right? You don't buffer the stimulus money from credit cocksuckers. Come on. Come on, everybody. Mark Scotty in the morning. We're just getting started. Thank you, everybody. Come on in. The water is wonderful, man. We're just getting started here. We're talking about some stimulus package. We're going to talk about some lazy doctors and nurses. Not lazy, but complaining. They're just complaining all the time. Tired of listening to these people whine. Open up the economy already. Let's go. That's what Trump said. Trump unveils opening up America. Opening up America plan aimed for May 1st. Okay, May 1st. That's right around the corner. So we can hold on another week or two. Enjoy yourself. I'll be honest with you. You know what? I digress for a second. You know what? I got to tell you a second. Don't tell anybody, man. But I've been having the absolute, throughout this whole thing, I've been having the best time of my life. You know why? Because I live in a very crowded city. And I live in a city of obnoxious, nasty, pushing people out of the way kind of place, right? Stepping over people and get theirs, I want to get mines. Just belligerent greed run amok. And I got to tell you, right? I've been riding a city bike around the city, and like last night, I tell you, I was riding downtown. I've been doing like still photography because I'll show more of it as we go along. But I was just doing some still some still photography work with my camera because it was just fascinating to see the city so empty. But I was just doing some cruising, and it was just so amazing. It was just so amazing. Like I was doing little videos like this. Yeah, I'll show you this little video. Watch. I was all on the bridge, right? And I'm sticking my camera out the window. The train is empty. And it's just like some fascinating shit going on there, right? It's things that you would never see. The city that I love, right? Without all the nasty people pushing and shoving, right? And making little videos. I'll show you some photos, right? Yeah, that's what I'm saying, right? And I wanted to say that I'm having the time of my life. And I know I'm not supposed to say that. Like, here's a little shot of the empty train, right? Fucking love it, man. I love it. I'm sitting there just 6 feet. Make it 10 feet. Make it goddamn 20 feet, right? Just stay away from me, man. I'm good. I am so good. You have no idea, right? You have no goddamn idea. I want to show you some photos. Let me show some of my stills, man. Some of my still work, right? I'm very talented. And should I feel shame? Should I feel ashamed of that? Just taking. I was out there taking pictures, right? Just taking pictures of empty New York, man. It's so beautiful. Right? You got to look at them one by one, right? Just empty shots. One jack off down by the bull, caught him. Right, like empty New York, right? It's so beautiful, man. So beautiful. Right, no people. Look at Wall Street. Not a single soul by the. You know what I mean? It's Trinity Church. It's beautiful. Look, empty Zuccotti Park, and see some guy sitting there. There's an ambulance racing by, but beautiful bursting blue sky. I'll release more of these photos. I'll put them out somewhere. I don't know how. Some tulips growing, right? That's empty Chinatown. You want to see empty Chinatown? Look, Chinatown, nobody. Right? Just cruising around on my bicycle, just checking out the shit, right? Checking everything out, man. Loving it, having a good time. Should I feel guilty about that? Should I feel guilty about actually enjoying a crisis as it's happening, man? Because I'll tell you, man, it's a good thing. I think we should learn something from it. I've become a bit of a germaphobe. To not, I'm very conscious. I've been very conscious of the whole germ thing. I don't think I have any risk whatsoever of, when I take the bike out, I wipe it down. So I digress. But I just wanted to confess that I am having a really good time, and I feel very peaceful, the opposite of what everybody else is experiencing. So I don't know what it says about me. But so Trump's going to open the economy. Oh, well, so much for peace and quiet. President Trump on Thursday announced the new guidelines for reopening states as soon as May 1st. Good on him. Good. Let's go. You're crippling people. You see the people in Michigan video yesterday, the Patriots in Michigan standing up. Enough is enough. It's overblown. Those fucking hospital staff are crybabies. They want everything, and they're doing nothing. Let's get going, right? So that's pretty good news, I guess. Right? Let's see what else he said. America wants to be open, and Americans want to be open, Trump said at the White House during the daily coronavirus task force press briefing. Based on the latest data, our team of experts agree we can start the next front in our war, which we are calling Open Up America Again. Open Up America Again. It's like everything with Trump's a campaign speech. As I have said for some time now, a national shutdown is not a sustainable, long-term solution. To preserve the health of our citizens, we must also preserve the health and functionality of our economy. Over the long haul, you cannot do one without the other, he said, Trump saying. So governors will be empowered to tailor an approach that needs the diverse circumstances of their own states. I don't know. That's not working out so well because there's a lot of hard-headed governors that want to, they want to be the king. This is an opportunity for them to exert power in New York. Guys running for president. They're talking about Andrew Cuomo trying to unseat Joe Biden, sleepy Joe Biden, for the Democratic nominee. Just make it federal. Trump says we're open for business. Executive order. Boom. Wipe out all the governor's executive orders. We're open, right? May 1st. Do it. Just come on strong, man. So let's talk about this coronavirus stuff, man. Coronavirus. New York City coronavirus deaths. I'll talk about New York because we're the epicenter. Although driving around and in my all of my solitude, riding around from hospital to hospital, trying to find some confusion, some kind of sense of all the inflated numbers and the pain of the healthcare workers. You expect to see people like, if it's busy and crazy, wouldn't you see like doctors and nurses outside breaking out in tears, like, fucking, I can't do it anymore. I can't fucking coming home. I can't do this shit anymore. You'd see something, right? You'd see crowds, something. Show me something. All I see is empty ambulances sitting there. Just sitting there with the engines running, burning city oil, city gas, smoking, eating. Come on, you see people fucking sitting outside, right? Come on, man. Even if the hospitals are filled to capacity, understandable. Even if they're double in their capacity, okay. Well, you've got Javits Center, you've got alternatives. Get busy in doing it, but stop fucking complaining. New York City coronavirus deaths soar past 11,000 as confirmed cases rise. I don't know. I don't believe it. I don't believe that everything today is corona. Everything is corona. New York City passed yet another grim milestone as its COVID virus death toll surpassed 11,000 Thursday and confirmed cases neared 120,000. I think there's a lot more. See, those are the numbers that I disagree with. 11,000 dead, 120,000 cases. That's almost saying that 1 in 12 people die that are corona cases. That is inaccurate. I would say that the cases of coronavirus are way higher because it's a fucking flu. I had it. I met 5 people in the park. That whole family. If you watch one of the videos I made, walking around in Washington Square Park, the whole family said they had coronavirus. They were all sick, all 5 of them. And they're all better. Did they get checked? No, nobody's getting checked. Check what? Check this. So I think that the actual cases are much, much higher, and the actual death resulting from coronavirus, the people that go out because they can't breathe and the intubation, the tube up their nose is not working because it's actually the wrong thing to be using in this situation that we learned as well. So I think that the death rate of 11,000 is much lower, and the amount of cases is way higher. You probably got 500,000 people with this thing, and you got maybe 5,000 people that die because they're old, they're fat, they're on drugs, they're out of shape. By Thursday afternoon, the ferocious virus had claimed the lives of 11 million. Blah, 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 blah. Show the freezer trucks. Show fear. How many freezer trucks have I passed already, right? There's no action. There's no bodies coming in and out. There's only one instance where the Post actually saw a body, and then they actually walked that back and said it could have been a test. Those could have been test dummies that you're looking at. Just trying to see if they could get the dead body into the truck in case they need the extra space, the morgues. All hospitals have a morgue. That's bullshit. All hospitals have a freezer room in the basement. They fucking stick the bodies in there, right? And if they didn't, they'd find a way. Right? Keep the bodies on ice. So what's the point? Are these trucks full? All the trucks we're seeing out on the street in New York City, are they full of dead bodies? The answer to that question would be clearly no. Based on the funeral parlor's testimony, that I called the other day that tested the funeral director said, or the salesman guy, the guy who sells coffins for a living, said that he gets the body. Usually they get the body from the nursing home or the hospital within an hour. Now it's 15 hours. So they got to wait a half a day. They got to wait a half a day to get the body. Whoop-de-doo. Well, what's the difference? Even 24 hours. The next day, oh, somebody's dead. They got to wait a day. But that doesn't equate to a backup. Right? They're Hard Island. They're burying the homeless and burying in Potter's Field people who can't afford it. More so, right? The drone footage we saw from that lady, what's her name? Melinda Hunt, yeah. She had drone footage of, she knows everything about Hard Island, and so what's the big deal? What's the big deal? It's just fear, right? It's fear. More fear. I think my video is much more compelling. Good morning, everybody. Carol Hayes in the house. Hair pooper. Her pooper. What's up, Bart McDowell? What's up, Judy Zimshid. Vinny DiMartini, Sassafras, what's up? Good morning, everybody. We're just getting going here, trying to, we're going to talk about some what I think is an overreaction in these hospitals, and, with the hospitals and the nurses. Let's watch some of this guy, man. Let's watch what hard work is, because we want to remember hard work is. What real men doing hard work looks like. They drink beer and they smoke Marlboro while they work the jackhammer. Yeah. Let's take this. All right, so that's hard work, right? That's hard work. So that's the death rate. Let's look at this. 3,000 New York City public hospital workers out sick. 924 confirmed positive. All right. So look at those numbers. 3,000 out sick, but only 900 have coronavirus. So what I'm trying to say is that the opening for fraud exists. I'm calling in sick. Why? Because I'd rather sit home and collect unemployment and a $600 check. Well, you wouldn't get unemployment, but you would get sick time. You would get your sick leave. You get your back pay, and you know what I mean. The people are folding, and it when I was in college, I'll give you a story. When I was in college, right, I wanted to become a nutritionist. I was very adamant about studying nutrition and health and exercise, and I had this vision of being, like a Nathan Predican or a Gary Knoll or one of these exercise guru guys. I wanted to do that, and for the most part, I did. I became a clinical dietitian in a nursing home, and what I seen there was a lot of the doctors and nurses are fucking phonies. Right? They watch All My Children on television, and they see them. They see themselves as some kind of like a savior. They don't do it for the good of the patient. They don't do it for the good of humanity. Not all of them. I think a lot of them do. People that have an empathetic streak that find joy in helping people sick and suffering. Right, is admirable, and they do exist. But I found that the majority of people, certainly, I also looked at medical school. I checked it out, and why not? Fuck it, why not? Another 4 years of college, right? But I just noticed that it was just a lot of opportunists. Rich people, rich kids send their kids to, rich families send their rich kids to these expensive schools. And you're going to be a doctor, whether it's not, what I'm saying? So I think that those are the people that get weeded out first, because they got to go on the front lines and they're just not willing to do it. So more than 900 staffers at New York City public hospital system have tested positive for coronavirus. Okay, great. 3,000 have called in sick. So those numbers don't add up. Our brave essential healthcare workers continue to go above and beyond to keep New Yorkers safe at our hospitals, clinics, and nursing homes. Every day and night, they come to work and dedicate themselves, blah, 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 blah. But look at this. ICUs under strain as New York City's new coronavirus patients are sicker than ever. So here's the deal. Coronavirus patients arrive at, I had a couple of, here, this is the one. Let's look at this one first. New York City nurses protest new policy cracking down on absentees amid pandemic. So there's the number, right? There's the numbers. 900 staff get sick out of 3,000. Just bear with me on this one, right? Bear with me. This is not a conspiracy theory. This is a theory based on being on the ground and seeing what I'm seeing and having experience working in it and hearing the crybabies cry. New York City nurses protest new policy cracking down on absentees amid pandemic. Right? Why are you absent during the pandemic? Why are you absent if you're not really sick is what I'm trying to say. Nurses exposed or who've been infected with the coronavirus are protesting a new New York City policy crackdown on absentees amid the pandemic. The April 10 indict from the city's health and hospitals requires hospital staffers who call in sick to provide a doctor's note or documentation to justify their absentee from work or get docked sick pay. So a doctor has to get a doctor's note. That shouldn't be too hard. All your friends are doctors. So what they're doing, what they're observing when that happens in city work is that too many people are calling in sick that are probably not sick. That's what it indicates. It indicates that there's a high call-in rate because they want to get that paid sick time, right? No one's going to deny them the paid sick time if they have coronavirus. Right? The new addict blames the victims. Infuriated nurses said. Crybaby nurses said. This is insulting on top of injury, literally. Fumed Sean Petty, a nurse who works in the pediatric emergency room at Jacobi Hospital, who is organizing a protest against the new sick policy outside the Bronx hospital Friday. People are risking their lives to go to work, are being dishonored and disrespected. Don't blame us for the government's lack of preparation, the lack of PPE, personal protective equipment, the lack of testing, and then turning around to punish us and shame us. That's a fucking crybaby. Nobody's shaming you. If you get sick and you catch the bug because for whatever reason you weren't protected or you exposed yourself to it, right? Nobody's knocking you. We're talking about the cowards that are running away from the fire. The firemen who sign up to put out fires, and then first day on the job, they see a building on fire, and they say, I'm not going in there. It's too hot. I'm not going running into the building. I thought this was about, squirting a hose from far away. I can't go in there. It's too hot. It's burning. The house is on fire. That's what they're doing. They're turning around and running the other way. So nurse, a 27-year-old veteran at the hospital who got sick by coronavirus on March 23rd, found out she was infected when she was tested by her personal doctor. Okay, no one's suggesting that if you are sick, that you should, especially in a hospital, come to work. Nobody's suggesting that. What we're suggesting is that there seems to be a high correlation of calling out amongst doctors and nurses. I saw other stuff that suggested that a lot of them are actually quitting and resigning. So if we're sick and come into work, we're exposing the patients we're supposed to protect. I agree with that, of course. Health and Hospitals, the agency that oversees the city's network of 11 public hospitals, sent out a controversial April 10 memo citing a surge in staff absentees at the facility in recent weeks as a mass of sick coronavirus patients jammed into hospital emergency rooms. A memo suggested workers at some facilities might be taking advantage of the epidemic because they are, quote, very high rates of call-outs and absentees that do not appear to be consistent with patterns of COVID-19 infection. Well, there you go. Very high rate of call-outs and absentees. I'm not saying it. These guys are saying it. The Post is saying it. All right? But it is suspicious. All right? Crybabies. The memo said workers have to provide a doctor's note to documentation that they had COVID-19 or another illness to justify taking paid sick time. They want that money, man. It's all about the money. They get paid sick time, whether it's accrued or not. I don't know. I don't know how it works. Maybe they have a special deal. I know, for example, sanitation workers have unlimited sick days. If they're sick or they're injured and they can document it, they get full pay for the entire time they're injured because it's a very high-risk job, right? They're lifting shit all day long. Half of them are crippled in 2 or 3 years. Same could be said here. They may have, some doctors and nurses may have unlimited sick leave, meaning that if they are documented sick, they get paid and paid and paid until they come back. That's just the way it works. That's part of the perks. So maybe they're going after that. Why do they want to crowd into a, right? And so what happens is you have less. That's why you have less of a staff. That's why it's a clusterfuck, because people are not showing up to work. And then they're calling in the military medical field. That's all I'm saying in this, right? I know it's. I don't want to be the bad guy here. Am I being the bad guy? Mark's Conte reporting. What's up, everybody? Sassafras, bad hacker. I'm a little tired right now, man. I'm always tired when I get off that bike all day long, man. Fucking driving around, trying to bring you guys the news, man. Doing that shit, man. So what else? More than 900 staffers at New York City's public hospital system have tested positive. We already read that. Here's de Blasio and his lovely wife. His lovely wife talking about cover your mouth. Cover your mouth and nose. So you have to. Today's Friday, so that means you're legally responsible for covering your hole, covering your face, covering your mouth and your nose in New York City. All right. What about your ears? What about that? What about your eyeballs? Right? Why don't you cover your eyeballs, because you can transmit it. What happens if you cry on somebody? What if you cry on someone's shoulders? Right? Shit is crazy, right? But asked previously about the sick. Okay, so there you get the gist, right? You get the gist of what I'm trying to say here. Right? Am I exhausting myself here or what? So you got a bunch of crybaby nurses. ICU units are strained as New York City coronavirus patients are sicker than ever. Okay, ICU units are crazy. Coronavirus patients arrived in New York City's hospitals are increasingly already very sick with the deadly disease and are pushing intensive care units to their limits or even beyond, the Post has learned. Okay, there's no reason not to open up a second ICU unit. You need the equipment, where you have all the resources you need. Right? And also they're intubating people above and beyond where they should be. Right? By intubating people, by putting everybody on a ventilator, that's actually working negatively. It's causing some of the problems. So here's a councilman who says, district was hit hard in Elmhurst Hospital. Has kind of stabilized since we saw the big tidal wave. Okay. So here's evidence that the ICU units are kind of crowded. Whoop-de-doo. When you sign up for the job, man, that's what you should expect that, right? That's all. This is a sad story, right? This is disgusting, right? This plays into that. Remember the chick? I forgot her name already. The girl, the Columbia University student who got mugged in Morningside Park, and these 3 kids took a pot and stabbed her and killed her. Listen to this. New York City nurse. It plays into the super predator theme. Now I know Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton are notoriously blamed for when Hillary Clinton said that black youths are super predators. Well, it does seem that there is a resurgence in that, and one might need to walk the streets with a baseball bat to correct it, or something like that, man. start pushing back on these young kids, right? So listen to this. New York City nurse who beat coronavirus pummeled, robbed by group of thugs. Group of thugs. Thugs, right? Listen to how old they are. A New York City nurse who recently recovered from the coronavirus was attacked on her way to work by a group of vicious youths who badly beat her and ran off with her purse. Police sources and the victim told the Post. Martha Toscano had just gotten out of the 6 train station on her way to Bellevue. So that's a nice neighborhood. That's like, well, I guess it's right behind Stuytown. It's maybe not such this pockets of. There's always projects by the hospitals anyway, but by Bellevue Hospital. So she's making her way to Bellevue Hospital about 10:30 p.m. when about 15 thugs ran her down and pummeled her to the ground. I thought I was going to die. I thought they were going to kill me. 60-year-old woman. They hit me on the head, on the face. I ran and fell on the floor, and they kept hitting me. The beatdown was interrupted by 3 men driving by. Police on Thursday arrested 3 of the alleged assailants, including 2 teenage girls, 14 and 15, and a 19-year-old man by the name of Deshaun Harrison. Deshaun. I'll leave that one open to you, but let's try to guess the race of Deshaun Harris and the 2 teens. All 3 suspects are residents of a nearby group home run by the city's ACS, Child Protective Services, right? So anyway, that's pretty crazy, man. She had my back, my neck, bumps on my head, even my elbows. They fucking beat the lady up and dragged her in the street. A bunch of young thugs, man. Shit is crazy, man. So, what's up, Sterling Price? Good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Yeah, these medical workers complaining is like volunteer soldiers complaining when they get sent to war. Yeah, exactly. It's like, stop complaining. It's not forever. This is what you signed up for. What, a month, 2 months in the trenches? So what, man? Sanitation workers here, when it snows, man, they go 12 hours on, 12 hours off. If you call in sick, they come to your house and they come to your house during snow season with the guys that run the plows and drop the salt, and they don't pick up garbage, but they go into full garbage. They go into full snow removal mode. They start to put the plows on the front of the garbage trucks and drive the garbage trucks around the city. And if you call in, if you're a city worker, if you're a sanitation worker and you call in sick, they come to your house and check on you. You get a knock on the door. Hello, are you sick? And they want to come in and see you, right? You leave your house, they're going to see you. Right? That's what they do because you're an essential worker. This is what you signed up for. This is when it gets important, not you calling in sick when we need the work done. Right? That's the point. We're paying you a lot of money. We're paying you $80,000 a year to pick up garbage. Yeah, it's hard work, but you're being paid. You're being compensated, and it's not all year round. It's only when it snows heavily do they go into that crazy mode. So here's the same thing with hospitals. We have a pandemic. We have a mysterious virus. We have the escalated need for medical staff to get busy and take care of the problem. It's not forever. It's not like you're doing it for free. That's where I come from with this shit. So this lady got her ass kicked. Watch out for the super predators. That's the only evidence that I've seen, and I haven't physically seen that at all. Maybe she said, "Why don't you fucking kids get off the goddamn street?" What the fuck? You don't even know what the woman said, right? The woman could have instigated it. I'm not saying she did, but you don't know the whole story. She could have walked by and said, "You fucking hoodlums, bunch of fucking hoodlums. Look at you fucking, look at you black trash, look at you trash." She could have said something to deserve a beat, and I don't think that is the case, but it could be. It could be the case. Most New York City coronavirus testing done in whitest and wealthiest zip codes. Here we go. All right, so coronavirus testing is a white privilege. It's white privilege. Now, am I a racist? There's no way. I am not a racist. I'm a realist. I'm someone who looks out and says, is there racism in the world? Yes. And do I hate others because of the color of their skin? No. I don't hate anybody until they give me a reason to hate them. I like that fat fuck in front of the hospital, right? The guy that told me I have white privilege. But here you go. Most New York City coronavirus testing done in whitest and wealthiest zip codes. Oh, really? Staten Island are getting tested for coronavirus more often than any other borough, and at twice the rate of Brooklynites and Manhattanites. An analysis of data from the City Department of Health by the Post shows. Right. Well, because if in low-income areas, they're at the whim of the handout, right? It's if public assistance or Medicare or Medicaid or a city hospital doesn't cover them, they're not going to show up for the test. So maybe a rich white guy goes to his private doctor and wants to get tested, and he should be he has white privilege. No, he's got money privilege. It's not a white thing. It's a money thing. Additionally, the paper's analysis found that more than 2/3 of the 30 zip codes with the highest per capita rates of testing were either whiter or wealthier. Really? I don't know. I find that hard to believe, man. I don't know. That's pretty. It's an outrageous statement. It drives one to believe that there's some sort of white privilege in the testing. As the data shows, the COVID-19 crisis is hitting communities of more color the hardest, while those same communities have less testing to diagnose the virus or resources to fight it. Said the public advocate, who's black as the ace of spades, Juman Williams, the public advocate, the city's highest-ranking elected black official. The city needs a task force. Where's your evidence? I was in Harlem the other day. I was walking around Harlem Hospital. It seemed like every other hospital. I've been to hospitals and, down the block, Mount Sinai, down the block from Harlem Hospital, maybe 40 blocks, 50 blocks away, is in one of the wealthiest, whitest neighborhoods, the upper east side of Manhattan. And it seems to be the same activity on the street, same parked ambulances, same nothing. So where is this? Where is it hitting the black community the hardest? Where are those numbers? Where is evidence of those numbers? It's bull fucking shit. You got to call bullshit on that one. Show me the evidence. Show me something that suggests city officials and civil rights leaders, have been sounding the alarm about COVID-19's desperate impact on the Big Apple's minority communities after an analysis of death certificates. Let's look. Show me the racial breakdown of New York City's. When was this done? April 8th. Shut this off.
Don't just make a website.
No. The Big Apple's African American and Hispanic communities are being hit the hardest by the coronavirus pandemic, ripping through the 5 boroughs. Hispanic New Yorkers account for 34% of coronavirus fatalities, despite being 29% of the city's population. Well, that's pretty high. The stats also reveal that African Americans make up 28% of the COVID patients, even though they are 22% of the population. Okay, but 34% Hispanic and 28% black adds up to what? About 60%, which that's how many blacks and Hispanics there are in New York City. And the remainder are 40% white. So where do you come up with, how do you make the leap that it just doesn't, it's just bullshit, right? So they're trying to make that shit into trying to make that shit into racism, trying to make it into white privilege. You got a corona test, that's white privilege. You went to the doctor to check yourself. That's white privilege. Bullshit. So this is pretty interesting. How you doing, guys? I gotta take a break, man. I'm tired today, man. I'm fucking struggling right now. And you gotta show up every day, man. You gotta keep bringing people the news, man. Can't let people fall, man. The catcher in the rye, man. See, this is hard work. What I'm doing is hard work, man. Me and this guy right here, man, right? This is hard, right? I'm doing this hard, man. It's heavy lifting, fucking jackhammer shit, right? It's not bedpans, and it's not bringing people aspirins and shit, and saying, how are you, and bringing someone a meal in a hospital. It's fucking, this is getting out in the street, fucking breaking bricks, fucking sleepless, man. That's what I'm talking about, man. That guy's a real man. That's a real man. So, Michigan Governor Whitmer hit by federal lawsuit over stay-at-home order. So yesterday we saw the Michigan people. That's Miss Whitmer, and these guys are not playing games, man. These guys were armed and on the steps without any face shields at all, and protesting like mofos. People take part in protests for Michiganders against excessive quarantine. I love it. Michiganders against excessive quarantine. Excessive. What is excessive? Well, excessive is shutting down an entire economy when there's no real evidence surrounding these hospitals that there is a dire need to do so. Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer has been hit with at least 2 federal lawsuits challenging the social distancing orders she imposed to battle the spread of coronavirus that requires people to stay at home and most businesses to shutter their doors. I love this, man. Sue the shit out of them. Is that what we have to do to stop the thing? Is that what we have to do, what Trump is not doing? Is he going to stick to May 1st and open up the economy? Somebody says streetwalkers are hit the hardest. Kingfish. Yeah, probably. You're probably right. I'd rather screw an attractive someone. Oh, you guys are having a dirty talk in here, man. Fucking come on. The poorest always get hit the hardest. This is not new. Yeah, that is true. I agree with that, of course. But is it an economic hit or is it a virus hit? Right? I always worry about Marcus' front teeth when he lifts that glass bottle. Says Judy, man. No, I'm good, man. I block it with my gums, man. Come on, that's offensive, man. I'm offended by that. So Michigan Governor Whitmer hit by, that was pretty funny, by the way, man. Marcus is going to knock out his 2 front teeth with his bottle of Pellegrino. That'd be funny, man. I'd still do what I'm doing, man. I'd be lisping like a mofo, but I'd still be here, right? Broken teeth and all. Right? So that's all I got on that one, man. Let's move it on, man. So what's this lady? CBC instructs kids on how to. This is a funny article. This is pretty funny. So there's some kind of CBC. Who is the CBC? Canadian Broadcasting System. I don't know who it is. Canadian Broadcasting. Is teaching kids how to shut down their parents' conspiracy theories. Right? Train the children. Listen, watch this shit. Watch this. Listen to this for a while.
So what do you do when this happens? A loved one, let's say it's your dad, drops into the family group chat with something he thinks is real. It's something about China manufacturing the coronavirus. There's a link to a site you've never heard of with a message calling it scary stuff. So what do you do with this? Do you ignore it? Do you call him out saying how ridiculous you think this is?
If you do that to your dad, you've actually shamed him. My name is Claire Wardle and I'm the US Director of First Draft. And we are a non-profit that we help people navigate the challenges of misinformation online. What happens is that your dad doubles down on his view and he dismisses what you're saying. Use language that's empathetic and to say we're all in this together. And rather than you're wrong, I'm right here.
Now, what they're trying to do is they're trying to say that the idea that coronavirus being created in a lab is a conspiracy theory. No, it's not. It's not. That's not a conspiracy theory. That's a actual legitimate. That's being created in by China in a lab. Well, we don't know where it was created, but it is possible that. Why isn't it possible? Because the fake news doesn't want you to believe that it's possible. Of course, it's possible. Even the guy that's funding most of these researchers, Bill Gates, is saying that it could have been created in a lab, and it could have been a bioweapon, or it could have been an accident. Most likely an accident, the leak. So that's not a conspiracy theory at all.
The facts, because that does not work.
So hold back on all that reactive talk. Maybe try something like this. Yeah, these are scary times. We're all a bit afraid, but let's be careful. What you're sharing is inaccurate, and it feeds into that fear we all feel.
Everybody's anxiety is so heightened right now. People are sharing this stuff not for any malicious reasons, but because they're scared too.
Sending more context could also be a good move, but don't
They're also sharing it because they could be right, you idiot.
drown them in evidence. Maybe send an article from a legitimate source quoting credible scientists.
A legitimate source from credible scientists. There we go. That's like mainstream media, propaganda. It's like patting each other on the back.
On why the virus wasn't manufactured. Conspiracies can be just as infectious, just as dangerous as a virus manufactured. Conspiracies from a legitimate source quoting credible scientists on why the virus wasn't manufactured.
How could you be a legitimate source and say it wasn't manufactured when the evidence is not in yet? Even it's even on mainstream media. It's even the president is saying it, and there's a lot of people saying that it could have been created in a factory, in a lab, and it escaped. It leaked out.
Conspiracies can be just as infectious, just as dangerous as a virus, so you have to guard against them.
You mean like the Russia conspiracy, that Russia hacked the election? That's not a conspiracy theory? That is the ultimate conspiracy theory, that Hillary Clinton didn't cheat her way over Bernie Sanders in 2016. That's another conspiracy theory, that she didn't lie to Congress 6 times. We got the video evidence of it. That she didn't destroy 30,000 emails. Those are conspiracy theories. That there isn't a line of dead bodies that follow the Clintons around. These are conspiracy theories. You got a dead Seth Rich, that kid shot in the street of Washington D.C. for leaking out information to WikiLeaks. That's a conspiracy theory? No, there's evidence. You got a body. You have the evidence.
It's very easy to just mute your crazy high school friend on Facebook or to leave a WhatsApp group where people are sharing false information. But right now, I actually think there's kind of a responsibility on all of us to help people understand that sharing that kind of information is increasing the level of pollution.
What she wants you to understand is that our leftist liberal corporate media opinion, funded by the CIA and everybody else and corporate billionaires, we are right and you are wrong. There's a lot of people that fall for it, right? They fall for that. Here's another one. Check this one out.
Well, a handful of people is spreading the idea on social media that the rollout of 5G cell towers is responsible for the COVID-19 epidemic.
Now that is funny, right? That 5G is responsible for the coronavirus pandemic. Now I don't agree with that, because there's no evidence, there's no logic or scientific logic or physical logic to suggest that a radiation wave causes a virus. Can it exacerbate the virus? Can it cause the virus to spread quicker and make people more vulnerable to a killer virus? Yes, and yes. That is possible. But does the way he framed that, people leave out the middle part. It's not that 5G created coronavirus or is the cause of coronavirus. It's that it could be, the theory is that it could be aggravating. I don't know what the theory is. I guess the theory is that that is a ridiculous theory. But there is, let's see if he justifies it.
People is spreading the idea on social media that the rollout of 5G cell towers is responsible for the COVID-19 epidemic. Some of the towers have even been set on fire in the UK. As our Victor Williams reports, it's having consequences here for people who are just out doing their jobs.
Yeah, well, the fact that anyone would believe this theory is absolutely mind-blowing, and doctors everywhere are agreeing that these 5G towers have absolutely nothing to do with the spread of the coronavirus. Sadly,
Now there I disagree. That the doctors are saying that it has absolutely nothing to do with the spread. You can't make that assessment. You can't. That's circumstantial evidence. You have, right? We don't know what's causing it. Until you know what's causing it, all things remain on the table, especially a new style of radioactive communication that people are not familiar with, exposing people to a higher degree of radiation or whatever it is that being exposed to.
Belief is even being seen right here in the city of Detroit.
Look at him. That's the big tower right there.
It's a video that's been shared thousands of times on Facebook,
Masks ain't gonna stop no radiation. Gloves ain't gonna stop no radiation.
showing a man on Detroit's west side questioning workers because he believes that 5G towers are to blame for the global pandemic.
While we in the house, they out working. And they secret, they quiet. They know we on game. We gonna tear them down.
Unfortunately, this theory has become somewhat of a popular belief on social media. Some YouTube videos falsely claim that there's a link between COVID-19 and the super fast wireless technology. Even our Dr. Frank McGeorge can attest, this hypothesis doesn't really make any sense.
There is no link, none. It is just completely false.
That guy was a tool right there. No link, it's completely false. Bullshit.
Operators have even said vandals set fires to their towers in the UK because of these theories.
Those are some scary looking communication towers, right? I don't think we have them here in New York yet. I've never seen anything like it. I'd like to see one. And what is it? It's just a higher speed internet. Is that what we're looking at? Higher speed communication through 5G? Is that what it is?
Evidence that the false claims can do some major harm.
Far-fetched conspiracy theories like this are really damaging because they undermine public health efforts to stop the spread of the virus by convincing some people that it's not the real problem.
That guy's a tool. That's a paid hack.
Other social media websites like Twitter are cracking down on the spread of this misinformation, hoping to filter out anything that mentions the coronavirus being the result of these 5G towers. Reporting this evening, Victor Williams.
So those are two interesting theories, right? The theory that 5G has something to do with the coronavirus, which I believe it could, and did COVID-19 squeak out of a laboratory? Manufactured? Very possible indeed. That I didn't know before looking into it that China and the U.S. are always in an antibiotic virus campaign to get the best vaccine first. Vaccine research. So I didn't know that. So it is possible that they were dabbling with it, and then it was created in power, it leaks out, and now you got it, right? So what else? It's not. So they're shutting down New York, right? Just to end on some of this stuff here. So New York, they're going to shut the beaches down, right? This is what they're talking about in New York City. New Yorkers are in for one bummer of a summer. Thanks to coronavirus, as public pools will stay closed. City beaches are likely headed for the same fate. They got to stop this shit, man. This is outrageous. You can't walk on the beach by yourself. A beach and keep distance. All right, maybe no picnic. No picnicking on the beach, but you can't walk on the beach. I walk on the beach. What about exercise? You can't run on the beach? Every one of us would love to have our summer, some part of the summer. It says de Blasio. This is de Blasio. So I'm running out of gas, folks. So this is an article that talks about. It basically talks about shutting down everything. No parades. Israel Day parade. Puerto Rican Day parade. Shut up. Shut it down. Shut it down. People are too close together. Spread them out. So we're not out of the woods with that yet. This is fucked up. You're gonna hate this, man. You're gonna hate this shit. Look at this. Ford tests buzzing wristband to keep workers 6 feet apart. Wow! Right out of 1984. So you're wearing this. Ford Motors is now piloting new wearable social distancing wristbands for its workers once its factories reopen. Now you know that you could do that with an app. Apple can definitely do that with a phone app, right? As long as your phone is on and there's another maybe Apple phone within 6 feet of you and it starts to back off, right? You don't even need a wristband to do that, right? Social distancing wristbands for workers. What do you get fined? What do you get docked? You get docked 10 cents an hour if you get too close to somebody. If your wristband goes off more than 3 times in a day, you get docked. A group of workers at a factory in Plymouth, Michigan, are currently testing the wristbands that vibrate when someone on the assembly line comes within 6 feet of one another. Wow. Talk about a massive tracking device. That is crazy. That is crazy. Ford is expecting to restart production lines next month after a 6-week shutdown. All employees will be subject to thermal imaging scan before entering any facility. I don't know, man. This is where you start getting into mandatory vaccines. It's like, no, you don't have to have it's not mandatory, but if you want to come back to work and work in our facility that you've been working at for 20 years, get on the line for the vaccine is over there, right? Come back when you got your piece of paper and you got your shot. So that's what we're leading to, right? So what's this? WHO advises EU to restrict alcohol sales. Now that's the last fucking draw, man. That's it, right? No alcohol during the lockdown? That's crazy, man. Taking away everything, man. Taking away fucking... Can't even drink. Can't even drink peacefully. The World Health Organization published a statement Tuesday that read European governments should restrict the sale of alcohol to citizens as nationwide lockdowns continue. I tell you, Europe has got it a lot worse, right? They really snapped the whip in Europe. You know, like in Spain, they're tackling people in the street. If the police are tackling people in the street, if they break a curfew or something, that's not happening here. It's not happening if you're watching from abroad. It's not happening at all. New York is rather. Again, I'm out every single day in my neighborhood. I'm on the trains. I'm on the buses. I'm riding a bicycle around the streets of New York City. I've never been told to where are you going, being too close to people, break it up by law enforcement. Never. I've seen no looting. I've seen no busy hospitals. I've seen no stealing from people running into supermarkets stealing. I've seen none of these things. Right? None at all. Right? And so the World Health Organization published a statement Tuesday that read, European governments should restrict alcohol to citizens during lockdown. The statement read, during the COVID-19 pandemic, alcohol consumption can exacerbate health vulnerability, risk-taking behaviors, mental health issues, and violence. Well, aren't those certain characteristics of alcohol anyway? It's already what about smoking? What about eating junk food? What about Snicker bars and as opposed to vegetables? What about smoking? Right, just smoking cigarettes. What about? Come on, man, it's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. Prohibition what about the calming effect that a beer or a drink could have on someone's psyche? It doesn't make them an alcoholic. If someone has a beer and it calms down their restful their racing mind, there's no shame in that. There's no problem with that. So why are they doing it? You got to ask yourself, why would they shut down alcohol consumption? So that's just that's some crazy shit, man. Fucking Europe, man. You guys are getting steamrolled. You guys got to get busy. And finally, look at this. In the height of, I say this is this is fraud right here. Eric Holder sees coronavirus as opportunity to redesign U.S. election system. I bet you do, Eric Holder. I bet you do see it as an opportunity to redesign U.S. elections in your favor, in your party's favor, because that's really what it is. Eric Holder thinks COVID-19 pandemic is a great opportunity to fundamentally change the way America votes. Coronavirus gives us an opportunity to revamp our electoral system so that it permanently becomes more inclusive and becomes faster for American people to access. So the theory here, I read through it, is basically to do mail-in ballots, as if the black box wasn't revealing enough, as if going and filling out your vote and sticking it in a machine that's unaccountable to anybody isn't bad enough. Now, just put it in an envelope, put a stamp on it, and send it away. It's like sending a letter to Santa Claus. Santa will get your vote. With no accountability. No, and no. Paper ballots. Do it at the location, live paper ballots, and have the public view the counting after it's over. At the end of the day, election polls close at 7 p.m. Great. 7 p.m. You're welcome to come to the place where you voted and observe the counting of the votes by people, regular people. Like a jury. Like the jury of my peers is going to count the ballots. So that looks like another scam. Democrats looking to, do a power grab. Trump said something too. What did Trump say? Trump had a comment on that too. Democrats are really. Oh, I don't know. Trump said something. What did he say? I lost it, man. So hey, anyway, man. Marcus Conte reporting. Hope everybody's having a good time. Listen to this shit, man. Because this shit is like what really we need to fucking do here, man. Oh, watch the jackhammer guy, man. Hard work, man. He's a hard-working man. Hard working. Thank you, everybody, for joining us today. Marcus in the morning. Oh shit! I just shut the window again. I know. There he is. So thank you, everybody, for sharing, man, coming by. We'll do it live. Carol Hayes in the house. Miss Chicago, Jason Walsh, Dylan Kapiskish, Jimmy D. Martini in the house. Thank you to the moderators. Thank everybody. Help me thank everybody. Help me thank Vinny D. Martini and Sterling Price in the house. Put your hands together. It's a hard job, man. It's not easy. It's not easy dishing out discipline. It's not easy. Thank you, Pat Hack, for stopping by. TJ, Miss Chicago, thank you. TJ, thank you. Gina, always VP. Jim Gerard in the house. Oh, man. That's good. Peace, everybody.